Welcome to the Business Growth Podcast. Today I'm here with Jenna, the Chief Growth Officer at Big Geo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Likewise. So tell us a little bit more. What do you guys do at Big Geo?
Yeah, so Big Geo is what we call the spatial cloud. It's basically an integrated cloud ecosystem for world spatial data. And for those of you wondering what spatial data is, it's any data related to a place in the earth. If you need to know where and when, that's the data we're talking about.
Okay. And how did you, what's the origin story to getting to becoming the Chief Growth Officer at this business? How did you end up here?
Yeah, so I've been in a multitude of growth roles from every range, from large enterprise, mid-size or enterprise, and to startup. And so I found out about Big Geo, and they had been working on the product, and the product is amazing, and they were just about to commercialize. And so I jumped over here to grow this amazing, exciting new technology.
Nice. And so it's a pretty new business still, right?
Yeah. Yes and no. It's one of those ones they've been around for a while. They've been building the product for 4 years, so it's not really what you would call startup at that stage, but it is actually commercially and what we're talking about growth wise very much a startup. So we've really only been in a commercial process, bringing on new customers for about 90 days.
Okay. So yeah, so pretty new.
Yeah.
And then, so tell me a little bit more. How has the growth been since these 90 days of starting to bring on new customers?
Yeah, super phenomenal, and something I think some of our listeners will be interested in is because product-led growth is one of the big, or sorry, partner-led growth is one of the biggest kind of trends going around in B2B, and that's what we are doing. So one of the things that's interesting is an ecosystem. So there's two types of funnels. First off, we have to bring on the supply, which is the data providers. So I have a full growth funnel around how to work with data partners, how to bring their data sets into the marketplace to be sold. And then I have a second funnel, which is about the end users, those SMBs who are now trying to buy that data and connecting those two parts of the marketplace.
And so you said it's partner-led growth. Can you tell me a little bit more
Yeah.
what exactly is partner-led growth?
Yeah, exactly. Partner-led growth is really around kind of um, working together to enable customers. And so the reason that we are of value to the partners is that traditionally spatial data is for the enterprise. It's large scale. You need GIS experts. You need really big kind of dollars. And Big Geo is democratizing that and enabling it kind of at the scale of the answer, not the scale of the data set. So allowing SMB to buy. And so by partner led, we're taking these partners and giving them access to a part of the market they couldn't have before. And with them, they bring customers that maybe they can't interact with or they can't transact with at the moment, but we can help them economically through our system.
Right. So like when you say partner-led growth, it's kind of like like growing by connecting two different people, the
Yeah.
data provider and the customer
Yeah.
together, essentially.
That's right. The partners can bring their own customers and
Okay.
service them in ways that they were never able to before, and so that compounds, right? If the partners are bringing customers and you're creating value that they couldn't have before, that that's a very economical kind of way to grow.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what's like the plan growth wise? How are you going to keep growing the business following this kind of partner growth
Yeah, so
process that you said?
on the supply side, I pretty much have my full year of growth in my pipeline already. So I have a steady number of 5 new partners coming on a regular interval. And on the other side, the demand side, that's a hockey stick, right? So we are actively looking for awareness and understanding at the SMB level to bring them into the marketplace so that we can sell this amazing data that we now have access to.
Yeah. Okay. And then so with the demand side, what's like the marketing strategy to get more customers on board? What's like the approach you guys are taking for that?
Yeah, so other than being partner led, we're very heavy AI augmented. So we have a very small marketing team with heavy AI agent usage. And so we use lots of different types of AI for content and automation, for our lead generation, like really leveraging what some of the skills out there can do and how easy it is to build skills these days. So on the demand side, definitely heavy AI and also using kind of agent-led growth, if that makes sense. So like the next motion using ABM, buyer agents, using kind of follow up, all of the tools that AI now makes us faster, stronger, better if we have the skill set to do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty crazy what you can do with AI these days. I'm actually just like doing a real deep dive into Codex at the moment and just building a
Yeah.
bunch of different skills and everything, and just yeah, like really just upping my level of AI knowledge. Like I knew a bit, but now I'm gonna go even more deep dive. So, can you tell a little bit more, like specifically what you're getting these AI automation things to do in terms of, like you said, lead generation, content creation?
Yeah. Well, I'll try and put them into categories, because research is one of them, right? So buyers today are doing research, agents are being doing research. So making sure that we're agent findable, if you will, like machine readable is part of everything that we produce, so that those agents can find us, but also for insights. So, as a CGO, I can, on a weekly basis, I can get insights from all of the meetings done by my entire sales team, in minutes. And
Yeah.
so on a weekly basis, I look at trends. I look at what sales scripts are working. I look at what do buyers react to. Do I need to change my positioning? How can I make sure that my positioning is based off of actual clients' words from transcripts, those sorts of things. So on the research side, I think there's just so much that AI can do. But on the, just traditional marketing side as well, right? So we're using AI in every place, I would think. So from creating some of the core parts of marketing, whether it's positioning documents or into the content that's going into our socials or into the content that's going into our website. So using different tools both to create and generate content, but also to automate. So using AI to match use cases to industries so that we can narrow down our target list. We can enhance the buyer list with AI agents. We can crawl and find contacts and all of those fun things. So it's too much to list in a 20-minute podcast, but definitely, as you know, it changes every day. It moves fast, and we try and take as much advantage as we can.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I love that you said like you're looking at the wording your target customer is using as well, and then using it
Mhm.
for your marketing. And like I've seen as well how powerful it is if just like on one website you just change a couple of words. Sometimes just like the first sentence on the website that they land on can change in terms of like the opt-in percentage by like 10, 20%. So if you like get really knowing like what like the wording that they use, what exactly the pain points are,
Exactly.
it can make a massive difference in terms of
Yeah.
your marketing efforts and also like the creatives that you put out for your marketing. If you say exactly, hey, do you have X pain point, which is a pain point you heard on the sales call, and it's going to resonate with them. So it's really yeah good.
Exactly. It's gone now to like such a level of personalization. You can personalize the message to what those people are talking about, what they're interested in, what pain points they're saying, those sorts of things. But generating sales collateral is an area that we use a lot of AI in, and it's so much faster, easier than ever before. One pagers used to take a lot of cooperation to get done, and I can get a one pager up and designed in minutes.
Yeah,
And
definitely. And
and
then
we can personalize that for each person now.
hmm. And while we're on the AI topic, what's next for the business in terms of AI? What's like the next thing that you guys are seeing? Like, hey, could we use AI to streamline this or improve this?
Well, we have a target in our company that everybody needs to use AI 75% of their time. And so we're monitoring that and encouraging that. So it's hard to say what's one thing we're doing, but definitely AI agents. As we're growing, I'm hiring, and for every hire, I'm also looking at what skills can I combine into agents to replace some of the things that have to be done, and then what things do I really need humans for, and hiring for humans that can work with AI agents.
Right. And so you said 75% of the time using AI. So I guess
Yes.
firstly, how did you guys come up with 75%? Why that specific metric?
I think because it's a combination. Now, of course, if you're client facing all of the time, you may not be able to hit 75%, if you're 40% in one-on-one meetings. However, I will tell you, my client side people use AI maybe even more so than some of the engineering team. So why did we pick 75? I mean, nobody can use AI in every single thing, but the bar is moving up. We're trying to increase the ratios of I think the average ratio right now is like 1 to 6 agents, one human to 6 AI agents. But 5 years down the road, or maybe even sooner, it's going to be like 1 to 20. So making sure that we're investing in our people so that they have the AI skills that keeps them in the market, but also so we can compete.
Yeah, yeah,
So
100%. It's definitely like the businesses that aren't going as heavy in AI are gonna get left behind because yeah, AI it operates 24/7 regardless of what you're doing basically. So it's pretty hard to compete against that as a human.
yeah, exactly.
And then so with the like the 75% of the time, what do you classify as using AI when you're tracking like
Mhm.
that metric? Because it's really interesting. I haven't heard anyone say this, so I'm curious.
It's any. I think it's we AI first mentality. Maybe have you heard that term before? It's like if you stop and think about anything you're doing and think first, is there a way that I can use AI to either make this more efficient, more effective, or even do I need to do this if AI could do this for me? And so using that kind of AI first thinking for the tasks that you're doing, especially if they're repeatable tasks. Like for instance, I made a positioning document and I had to make 7 others. So instead of just making the document, I made a skill first. And then I was able to generate much faster.
Yeah.
So how are we tracking it? It's all the tools that use AI. In our engineering team, of course, it's a lot different. Are they using AI to code? Are they using AI to test? Those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And in the sales, it can be in any of the tasks they're doing. Are they AI first thinking and are they using AI to make them more effective, more efficient?
Right. And how are you going about like making sure you stay at the forefront of what's being released in terms of AI,
Yeah,
and using it as efficiently as possible? How does like the training look like for the business in
yeah,
terms of that?
exactly. Well, I think that's AI is moving too fast to use traditional training, is my opinion. By the time training model comes out on almost anything, AI has moved on. And so how we approach it is by sharing learnings. So we have specific AI days where everybody is able to try new things, do new things, and then in the afternoons we share what we're learning so that as we're learning and growing, we're sharing that.
Yeah, that's so true as well. How quickly things change and like the interfaces change and everything as well. Like I'm upskilling as well in terms of AI, and I'm looking at a video that was 3 weeks ago, and the interface already looks different. How to operate it's already different. So
So everybody's saying like if you're using any product today that it has any kind of videos in it, they're actually now moving faster than their videos explaining their features. It's very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, you need to
Yeah.
pretty much watch the video in the first week it comes out. Otherwise, it's a bit different
Yeah, perfect.
already.
Use AI to move those faster. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what are some of the other goals for the business for like the rest of the year?
Well, our big goal right now, because we're a startup, is awareness, right? So awareness. Our North Star is 1 billion queries on the regular, right? And so how we're doing that is by bringing people into the ecosystem, but also to kind of change how we talk about it. So like we say at the scale of the answer, not the scale of the data. In other words, we have huge, terabytes of data and 7 billion points and things like that. But that's not what we're about. We're about how do we deliver exactly what you need for the answer that you need at the time. And so our goal is to get as many queries as we can and get the scale of the answer, not the scale of the data set.
Right. And when you say a query, what do you like classify as a query?
Say that again. Sorry, I just didn't
When
hear.
you said you want to get as many queries as possible, so
Yeah.
what do you guys define as like a query?
So we are embedded in OpenAI right now into ChatGPT, and we're being evaluated by Claude. And so using our MCP on the data sets that people buy through our marketplace is a key part of our value proposition because SMBs don't necessarily have the experts or the GIS experts that might be needed to answer spatial related questions. And so enabling any kind of LLM to use regular text questions, the same things you would ask of a GIS expert, and having the ability to provide that information instantly
Mhm.
in a safe way. So
Right.
we keep the data inside the spatial cloud, but we give the intelligence to the LLM so that the people can ask the questions.
Right. Okay. And then another question I always like to ask is like, so what's one thing in the business that's working well, and then what's one thing that's not working as well as what you would like?
uh, so Our partner-led growth is working amazing. That's going better than expected with really good closures and through the funnel. What is maybe not working as well is probably what lots of people are is, you know, cold email is changing. The machines are changing. So how do you reach people? How can we be creative about how we reach people? That's probably the part that I would say not working yet, but we're going to try a lot of things.
Yeah, okay. And so is it just like when you say email's not working, it's like people aren't replying, or is it like in terms of delivery, or why do you feel
I
it's
think
not working
like
as
the
well?
conversions of each stage of that funnel are going lower and lower because there's more and more tech that prevents it. So cold email,
Hmm.
how many of those do you receive? Tons. How many of those do you answer? Very few.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's true. So if you're trying to get awareness and you're trying to use cold outreach, you know that those are the realities. And so, you know, in the age of AI, how are we going to get to people that don't know about us? That's
Mm.
changing on the regular, I think.
Yeah, that's so true. And especially like with the more like spam filters and Google
Exactly.
like just like getting rid of some inboxes that it thinks is like spam. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
The
getting
machines are smarter, so they're able to say you don't know this person faster. And so how do you become friends when you're kept on the outside? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I know we're starting to run out of time here, so how about let's finish on what are some of like the biggest lessons that you've learned this year so far with this business?
Biggest lessons. I would say that some of the biggest lessons is, of course, patience. So when you have that entrepreneurial spirit and that grit to just go, 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 you know, you just want everything to come together right away. And the reality is the real world is imperfect and the real world takes a little more time. And so, yeah, I would say having the patience to see the results of the grit that you're doing on the everyday is one of the key factors to success.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Especially when starting a new business, it
Yeah, 100%.
takes a very long time. But yeah, once you get it going, depending on the business, it can grow really quickly.
Yep,
Especially
yep.
like in the software type of thing, like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, AI is speeding up everything, and I think that means results as well. So it's a great time in the world to be in a startup because we have tools and availability that startups 5, 6 years ago never had an opportunity of.
Yeah, definitely. And how about any favorite books in terms of business?
Oh, in terms of business,
Yeah.
yes, I mean, my friend Brent Adamson wrote his new book. He's the original author of The Challenger, and in his new book, he talks about confidence building as a real part of the art of the sale. And what
Hmm.
he means by that is because information is available everywhere, and because in B2B buying we have multiple stakeholders,
Yeah.
people need confidence in their decisions,
Mm.
which is very different than the old way of selling, which was giving them information.
As in, like the salesperson needs to be confident.
No, as in the salesperson needs to help the purchaser in the confidence of their decision because
Ah, okay,
there's
got it.
overwhelming information.
Yeah.
There's he can find out anything that he needs without a salesperson.
Right.
But what he doesn't know is this the right decision?
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Have you read
Yep.
Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone?
No, I haven't read that one.
It's a pretty good book
Yeah.
as well.
Okay.
He's got a couple of really good books I like. Sell or Be Sold, I really like, and basically the whole book he says like in life everything is a sale, and you're all
Yes.
selling to someone or they're selling to you basically.
A
That's a
hundred percent.
I really like that book. He's got a book called the 10x Rule as well,
Okay.
which
Yep.
is really good as well in terms of like goal setting and yeah, what you need to do to succeed. Basically, just like one of his things is like it's like your duty and obligation to succeed. Basically, like a really extreme thing
Yep.
on success. So those are like two books I really liked from
That's
him.
awesome. I'll definitely pick them up. That's
Yeah.
great.
Well, it's been great having you on the show. Where can people go to learn a little bit more about you and what you guys do?
Yeah, biggeo.com, BIGGEO.com is where you can find out about us and find out all about the spatial cloud and helping your AI learn about where things are, not just what things are.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'll include those links in the show notes below. You guys may listen to the Business Growth Podcast. Until next time, keep growing.